when I decided not to go the corporate route at a young age, because, you know, obviously Lyrical Lemonade being what it was at the time, a lot of opportunities came in from different directions. When I realized that's not at all what I wanted, I was like, I just want life to be a playground. I want to just have fun. And if this shit doesn't work out, then it wasn't supposed to work out. Like, I really don't care. Some people just care too much about that shit, but life's short and we're gonna die. It's like, what's the point of like trying to make all this money, and at the end of the day, when you made all the money, well, what do you do then? You look back and be like, well, I just wasted my whole life.
Yo, just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Shopify. Let's get it.
What's going on, guys? You're watching Kids Take Over, Vancouver, all the way to Malibu right now.
Yeah.
Chilling with someone hella special, man. Been wanting to talk to you for really long. I'm with Cole Bennett.
Oh my God, I appreciate you, man.
How's it going, man?
Big fan of everything you're doing. I told you that before. I think the Kids Take Over it's really inspiring for me to see. And it's cool seeing someone that brings up the generations to come and just like puts a spotlight and a highlight on all the cool things going on right now. You've shown me a lot of cool stuff just by following you, so thank you, man, for everything you do.
Wow, thank you, man. Honestly, that means so much from you. What you like been up to today? I mean, you're like recording music up there. There's people out here. Like, what you been up to today?
So the album is pretty much done, the Lyrical Lemonade album, and wanted to get a house just for everyone to come together who's been working on the project. A place where we can relax, have creative conversations, literally finish mixing. I'm deciding the album name while I'm here. I have like a ton of things planned on how that process is gonna go.
It's funny because like your actual like crib that I went to, like that's a pretty dope environment. So I would expect that you would like, you know, do some stuff there, like set up like a home studio. But it's interesting that even that is like, that's cool, but you wanted to go somewhere even different.
I'm happy that you say that, and thank you. I try to make where I spend the most of my time, like if I'm gonna be somewhere for an extended amount of time, it needs to feel inspiring to me. Even like in Chicago, my house in Chicago, and then the headquarters in Chicago, it's like there's statues everywhere and these things that feel bigger than you and kind of allow you to always feel like a kid.
Absolutely. I wanna actually go deep into the album a bit later. There's so many things I wanna ask you, and I'm gonna skip the whole upbringing stuff because you know that you have done so many interviews.
Thank you.
And that you've talked about. We know Cole's from Chicago. Yeah. We know his mom came up with Lyrical Lemonade.
Right.
We know all of that. And I want to ask you things like creator to creator, founder to founder, just like things that I've been genuinely wondering for the past 3 years, right? But before that, I want to say you are a huge reason why like this even exists, right?
Thank you.
So just before anything, like, you know how like Lil Durk gives like nicknames to people?
Yeah.
If I was Lil Durk, I would call you like the Blueprint.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Because that's
a hell of
what
a
you
nickname,
are.
man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's go.
So that's what I think. But the first thing I want to ask you right off the bat is, so I'm from Vancouver, right? I live in Surrey, which is like a little suburb. And
shouts out to Maple Ridge, man.
And that's what I want to talk about because that's wild, dude. Do you understand how big of a deal it is that you shot a Drake music video in Maple Ridge?
You know, I didn't understand that it was a big deal until I heard people chattering about it on the internet of like, and then it kind of put things into perspective of like, you know, where I grew up and like if something that big were to have taken place there and how that would make me feel. So I like understand the concept, but I don't know what Maple Ridge is. But that came about, Drake had a few off days in Vancouver. And he wanted to shoot a video while he was out there, and we're working on a few different projects right now. One of which was to knock something out in Vancouver. So went out there, and you know, with an artist of his size, you have to be aware of, you know, just we looked at a few locations in Vancouver that were just, it was a little hot, you know what I mean, and like permitting and all these things that go into location scouting. The Maple Ridge location felt the most tucked away and ducked off, and it was surrounded by trees, and it just felt the safest place to do it, and a place where the artist could feel comfortable. And that's like something I always try to keep mind of, is like there might be something that looks better, but you got to keep aware of the fact that you're shooting, you know, one of the biggest artists in the world. So
absolutely. For the viewers watching, so this is my perspective on it. So Drake was in town for his concert. So Zack Bia opening for Drake, incredible person and DJ, one of your friends.
Incredible.
And he was like, yo, come to the show. So I went to the show. Travis Scott comes to the show as a special guest. And then on the off day, Zack is like, oh, by the way, just letting you know, like, Cole's coming to town tomorrow. Like, maybe you should ask to interview him. So I was like, Cole's coming to town, bro. He's shooting the Meltdown video because Travis and Drake are in town, right? So that's what I thought the whole time. But no, it turns out that you shot the Drake and Yachty video. So did that happen through, I mean, I know you and Yachty just did like an incredible video. You're super tight. Is that how that happened, like through him?
No, and I'm really not sure how much I'm supposed to be talking about all this. But so how it all happened is Drake right now is, he's finishing up the album and he's very on the go between the shows as well as him finishing up his album.
For all the dogs.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So he had showed me this Yachty song before Yachty hopped on it maybe like 3 weeks ago, and he wanted to shoot it, and we didn't end up getting around to shooting it. And then when I got to Vancouver, we just sat down and listened to the album, and he's like, whatever one you want to do.
You got to listen to the album beforehand?
Yeah, a few times.
That's a few times.
But a lot of songs are unfinished, so you know, there's great moments on the album, but a lot of which weren't done. And I kind of came to the conclusion that if we shoot one of these songs that aren't fully finished, we may never finish it, and it may never come out because his mind, he has such a brilliant mind, but it's always moving. So he's always on to the next thing. So it's like, wait, let's shoot this in this city. And so I knew that if we didn't finish it, there's a good chance we don't have a finished product. So I was like, Yachty's in Vancouver. You know, we're doing a run and gun style video. We shot in like 2 hours. We could lean on their chemistry, have fun, make the song's called Another Late Night. It's a nighttime shoot.
Is that your first time meeting Drake?
No, I've known him for a few years.
Yeah.
We've talked about working for a few years now, and I just knew it was gonna be when the time was right. I was supposed to do the search and rescue video, but I've just known him for a while, and obviously Zack and him are really good friends, and Zack is one of my good friends, so we're around each other.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone in music is like one contact away, or like one text away, or a DM. Like, let's just say in a hypothetical world, if Travis Scott follows me on Instagram, then people would assume, like the outside people would assume like, oh, well, why don't you just DM him and ask him for an interview? But I think that timing is everything, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong, you DM people and you want to work with people, but something beautiful about just letting it happen how it's supposed to happen. Speaking things into existence is incredible, and then just seeing where it goes from there. Right. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen.
I think that you have, to this point, worked with almost every single big, very culturally relevant rap artist. Aside from maybe like Kendrick, Playboi Carti, Travis Scott, and Tyler. Yeah. Any of those four, is that something that you ever like kind of chase, or same thing? You just kind of let it happen?
I really respect all those artists that you've named. A lot of them, I mean, it's just like, it's creative integrity, and I appreciate that. You know, they're very involved with everything they do, but I would really love to work with Tyler, because I'm just so inspired by his process and how involved he is. Yeah. And I don't know, he's one of those people where if it's not what he wants it to be, you'll never see it. You know, and I'm so amazed just by thinking about maybe all the projects that he worked on that never did come out, you know, just because they weren't what he wanted it to be. Because everything we've seen is flawless. So maybe it's just incredible execution every time, and there's nothing that never came out. But I think it's cool that he has no misses visually, in my personal opinion, especially if you're looking at the time in which it was done. If something's from 2014 and you compare it to something now, well, the aesthetic's different. He's grown as an artist. His palette's changed. But man, I think he's the closest thing to perfect when it comes to creative direction. I also think one person that doesn't get enough credit in that regard is Aminé. I think when it comes to creative direction and packaging and rollouts and merchandise and cover art and partnership, how he handles everything, and you feel him coming through all the projects he works on. Even the shoe collab he just did with New Balance. I put him, like I said, on a creative direction level, I put him in Tyler's tier.
That's a big compliment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time that I saw what you're saying about Aminé be true is like when Limbo came out.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Like,
yeah,
the branding was incredible. The colors,
the tennis ball, the font choice, everything.
Yeah.
And there's ways where things could be simple,
yeah,
and amazing. And we get caught in this way of thinking that we need to like make this crazy, over the top, extravagant. Sometimes, I mean, it's cliche, but less is more, man.
Definitely. Dude, it's funny because for people who are watching, like me and Cole hung out like a month ago at your crib, and you were telling me, you're like, dude, and you tweeted this too. You're like, I'm not gonna shoot any more music videos unless it's a Lyrical Lemonade, like album video. And then lo and behold, you do like 3 other videos.
Yeah, I know.
What happened with that, dude?
Yo, what's good, y'all? One thing I always appreciate about Cole Bennett is how we found such cool ways to monetize Lyrical Lemonade. I'm talking about the plushies, clothes, the actual lemonade. It's something that us at KTO will be doing a lot more, like our own products and more clothes real soon. But none of that is gonna be possible without Shopify. Now, I'm the one that's sitting down in these interviews, discovering these new artists. So using Shopify actually saves me a ton of time when it comes to starting and building my own online store for KTO. I didn't have to watch a gazillion tutorials. I got to connect our store to our Instagram, so a lot of you guys that were commenting on the music posts got to view our products on the same page as well. Now, I use the starter plan. It's really affordable, and I'm assuming if you're watching this Cole Bennett interview, you're a young creative yourself, and you probably don't want to break the bank either with your online store, so I'm gonna give you guys a custom URL. It's in the description to get you guys a starter plan. I appreciate you, Shopify, for supporting creators like myself, but now let's get back to this amazing Cole Bennett interview.
It's hard, man. I really genuinely love what I do, and I'm so inspired, and like I'll have streaks and moments of like being inspired and motivated where I just will jump out of bed at 3 a.m. and like think that I can just take over the world. In a good way. And I don't know, I can't stop. It's so hard, and I'm really working on toning that back because I do notice that the more I do, sometimes the quality's compromised, and that kills me, you know. But I just love being on set. I love working with people. I love bringing ideas to life. And it is funny because I was like, I tweeted that, but in my head I was like, you know, if like Drake wants to do something, like, you know, we could figure it out. And then sure enough, like, the Drake call comes in a week later. It's funny how things work, man, but I'm ready for the challenge.
Absolutely. Well, I think now try to make a promise to yourself, bro.
I'm trying,
like, man. You got to work on your album. That should be your priority, you know.
I know.
Yeah, next thing you know, Kendrick Lamar, it's a
right.
No, yeah. So me and you, we briefly spoke around the idea of like, in your early career, you kind of have to work for free and like, you know, very cheap. You told me that you shot your old videos for like dirt cheap, bro. Like you were charging people like barely anything. And this is when you were doing like the old like Lil Skies videos and Ali Choppa. So like, how much were you like charging back in the day, like looking back on it?
Man, I think you could even go find tweets because I see people pull them up sometimes. But Dex early pump days, like I think I tweet out like $650 for a music video. Email me here if you're interested. And yeah, man, it was. But then, like I would do shit for free too.
Yeah.
And I knew, and I still know, that I'm far from the best. I'm still on my way working to reach my potential. But with that, you need to practice, man. You need to try things out, and you need to love what you do. So if a good opportunity presented itself, I was open to work for free, or even if there was like a really cool concept I wanted to explore. Like even when I did Speed Racer with Warhol, like I knew I wanted to do like this miniature version with like cars and stuff, and this around, you know, the time Warhol and I first started working, and that video changed my life. It's funny because people always talk about Lyrical Lemonade, and like, you know, there's key videos that you think back to, and like people always talk about Ski Mask, Catch Me Outside, which is for sure a game changer, one of my favorites. But Speed Racer by Warhol was like a really pivotal moment for Lyrical Lemonade. Through doing that free work, I was able to get off what I thought was a great idea, help Warhol. Smoke Perp found me from the Speed Racer video.
Really? Okay.
And then I went on to go to Miami because I went out to Florida. I was like, I'm gonna go here for a week and try to shoot as many videos as I can. And One of them was my first Smoke Perp video.
Yep.
It's also where I met Pump. Me and Pump then worked on D Rose a month later after that. So it's so crazy when you go back and you think about one moment or one conversation and how that trickled into the next thing and what came from that. And that 6 months was really important to, you know, the Lyrical Lemonade story and the journey, and came from doing free work.
A lot of kids are just wanting like money right away, but to that kid who's watching, like, what's your honest advice? You know, because again, like, everyone has a different situation. Some people need the money right away. Some people don't have a home or whatever it is, you know.
And I think that life's difficult, and there's so many things that people are going through that the next man will never understand.
Absolutely.
You're going through things that I don't know about. I'm going through things that you don't know about. And there's things that are difficult. And we can never discredit that. But I think when it comes to money, you can always have a job and do what you love on the side. I think it's just about really wanting it. And I think it's this feeling that runs through your body. And if you have it, then you have it. If you don't, you don't. If you really love what you do, you figure it out.
Yeah.
And that figuring it out doesn't mean making a career out of it necessarily. If you really love something, then money isn't the motive behind it. And if the two can ever work together and you can make money doing what you love, then that's the ultimate dream. It is difficult if you find a little bit of revenue and then maybe that slows down, but you've gotten used to the idea of doing what you love to make money. But even in those moments, you might need to disconnect and get a job or find other areas to make money or explore other things. But a real passion never dies.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, I would say that 9.9 times out of 10, if you do work for free in the beginning and just keep doing it if you love it, like, it really does work out for you in the long term, you know?
100%.
And I guess speaking of money, one thing I'm so curious about is, I remember I was in university, right? And there was this really boring class. And like, I was just on like YouTube and I saw like Cole Bennett tours like the Lyrical Lemonade office. I was like, dude, this is so freaking cool. Like, this dude has a basketball court in his office. Like, it doesn't get better than that, right? And I'm like, how is he affording all this? Like, how was he monetizing so early? So like, how were you able to like have an office, a staff so early on? Like, were you taking investments or?
No, I've never taken an investment in my life, and I own 100% of Lyrical Lemonade and all the equity. A lot of people think that I make a ton of money off YouTube, and that, like, the truth is that I don't make any money on YouTube. All of the music videos I do, the music is claimed by the artist or the label. And like, my monthly revenue report says $0. You know,
when you told me that a month ago, my mind was blown. Because you know how many views you get on YouTube?
Well, that's why I think it's so funny. Like, I see like all these, like, his net worth is this and all that, and a lot of it is based into what people would think I would make off YouTube.
Oh, they added up off your videos.
I mean, I'd assume so. I was like, because I don't know where you guys are getting these numbers from. But I don't make money on YouTube, which surprises people when I tell them that, because they're like, well, then where do you make money? And I think the biggest thing is, like, since I was young, I was always getting creative on how you can make money, like merchandise, shows. Obviously, like, I am always trying different things, from like the lemonade to different collectibles and all these things that really have kept me afloat for a long time. And then you get to a point where you do brand partnerships and, you know, different things that bring money in ways you never thought, or, you know, you might get caught off guard by an opportunity that comes in. You might not be in a great spot for a little bit, man. It's so funny because even over the last few years, like, I've been in the red. It's like, it's a nonstop, like, it's an up and down thing. With the office and building that world out, I just knew that I needed to create a world where me and my guys can feel safe, comfortable, and creative. And I grew up watching the Fantasy Factory and all these different things, and I'm like, what if I could create something like that one day? And when I decided not to go, you know, like, the corporate route at a young age, because, you know, obviously Lyrical Lemonade being what it was at the time, a lot of opportunities came in from different directions. And as soon as I declined all the offers and said, well, we can give you employees across the world and all these different things. And when I realized that's not at all what I wanted, I was like, I just want life to be a playground. I want to just have fun. And if this shit doesn't work out, then it wasn't supposed to work out. Like, I really don't care. And some people just care too much about that shit. But life's short and we're going to die. It's like, what's the point of, like, trying to make all this money? And at the end of the day, when you made all the money, well, what do you do then? You look back and be like, well, I just wasted my whole life. And, like, what do I do with this money? Of course, generational wealth is great. And you can, you know, you send your kids to college and all these different things, and hopefully I'll be able to do that one day, but like money can't be the motive. Reinvesting is the most important thing you can do as a creative, and not even just an upcoming creative, just in general. It doesn't matter. And crazy story I never told, and I'm gonna think about whether I want to put this in the interview or not. I did a video for this artist in 2017, and the video blew up overnight. And I did the video for I think like $800, and it did 1 million views overnight. And
in one day?
In one day.
Wow.
And it changed this artist's life, and I was like, this was, I don't want to say it was normal, but I obviously noticed that, okay, this one really worked, you know, but I just kept going. I was like, I got paid for the video. Same process as anything else, whether I get $500 a video, $1,500 a video, whatever. And I keep it moving. Like, wow, this is great. That worked. I'm happy for him. And then I just keep it going. And that artist's manager called me, and he was like, hey, I owe you. And I was like, no, you sent me that cash out for $800.
Yep.
Like, we're good. He's like, no, you just changed my life and my artist's life. Like, I owe you. And he was like, let me wire you $100,000. And keep in mind, at the time, bro, I have like maybe like $3,000 in my bank account. And my rent at the time, I had an apartment at Presidential Towers that was like $1,500. And then I had a Hyundai Sonata that was like $350 to $400 a month. So like my overhead was like always biting into whatever's in my bank account. So like
close.
He's saying $100,000, and I was like, I'm thinking he's fucking with me. I'm like, nah. So I'm like, nah, man, like, I can't take that. I thought he was just being nice. You know, people have fun. I'm like still learning about how people operate. I'm like, that's too good to be true. Next day he calls me, he's like, $90,000. Next day he calls me, because I keep denying it, because I'm like, I'm not gonna take this money from you, and I also like am I even deserving of it? Like, what? It's a lot to be thrown on you. And then finally gets down to $60,000. I was like, he's being serious. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And I took the $60,000, and they asked for nothing from me. He sent me $60,000, and when I got the money, I remember calling my friends from back. One of my friends just had a baby, and I'm like, yo, you need anything? I call my mom, my sister. I'm like, I'm up, like I'm rich. You know what I mean? Like, who needs money because I got it?
Let's get it, yeah.
And that $60,000 really changed my life. I got the first ever Lyrical Lemonade office with that money, and built out, and I got a new camera set up, and I got a new desktop. I mean, it's emotional even talking about it, because it's just like, that's not a common thing. And
definitely not.
You know, it meant a lot to me. It changed my life for sure. And I understand that that's not something that can happen to anyone. You know, that was just like the grace of God. And I just moving with pure intentions and doing things because I love it. People, it pays off, man. And I'm not gonna say that's gonna happen, but you know. Yeah. But that money, when it came in, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be stupid. I'm going to reinvest this into creating a world and taking this thing to the next level.
And you getting that office probably helped you make so much more money as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow, that's an incredible story, man. Now watch, every kid is gonna charge exactly $800 for their music videos. Yeah, man. Hoping that will happen. No, and I don't know who this person is, but wow, shout out to them. That's like a very rare thing, you know?
Incredibly.
I think majority of your content is artist-based, right? You know, it depends on a lot of artists, and you're the one curating it all. Lyrical Lemonade has 19 million subscribers, a lot of subscribers. What I think is valuable is that you created this powerhouse. That's
21 million.
21 million right now?
21 million.
Dude, I checked like a couple weeks ago.
Is it 19? Might be 19. I gotta check.
I could be wrong, but But I guess what I'm trying to say is
21.1.
21.1. Congrats, man.
Yes, sir.
What I think is valuable is that you created this.
Sorry about that. I just had.
No, you're good. You're
I was
good.
like, okay.
Just flexed it. No, it's you created this powerhouse that's not about you, right? While also building your personal brand. Like Cole Bennett holds weight, right? How did you build your personal brand throughout all of this when Lyrical Lemonade isn't Cole Bennett?
It was so funny because when I first started Lyrical Lemonade, it's 2013. It's coming up on 10 years. And goddamn, it's getting a little chilly, no?
A little bit, yeah. By the water, yeah.
And I would tweet like off the Lyrical Lemonade page, like, we're doing this, we're doing that. It was really just me, you know what I mean? But I tried to make it feel like this big thing, and I realized
I've done the same, bro.
Yeah,
we all been there.
It's because you know I'm trying to make people get behind it. You know, it's you know, and wanted to make it feel big. And I was in high school. I was just had a big dream. I knew that it was big. I knew it was special, and I wanted to feel that way. And I want to feel like, I don't know, professional, I guess.
Well, hey guys, this is my manager. That wasn't me.
Yeah. But I'll be like, we have a show coming up, or we love this, or we love that. You know, we. But it was really just me behind the thing, and it was really just like, you know, this is Lyrical Lemonade, this is the umbrella, and then like I do videos, or I'm writing this article on, you know, this topic or whatever on the website. And the YouTube channel was always Cole Bennett at first. So up until 1 million subscribers, the YouTube channel was just Cole Bennett before it was Lyrical Lemonade. When it was just me, it felt really tangible and relatable. And, you know, I was just a kid figuring it out and doing DIY projects. I was like, this is what that is. This is Cole Bennett's YouTube channel. And then as things started to get bigger, I'm like, this is bigger than me now. So the YouTube channel went from Cole Bennett to then Cole Bennett - Lyrical Lemonade. And I let that ride out for like 8 months, and then it was just Lyrical Lemonade. Yeah. It ended up working, and I want to keep kind of stepping away and pulling Cole Bennett back, because Cole Bennett, it's funny talking about myself in third person like this, but I want to do, like, I have so many mediums I want to explore and things I want to try. I want to be a great dad one day. Like, I want to raise a family and shit. Like, I want to, like, find hobbies. Like, I want to do things. Like, this has been my life for so long, so that's bigger than me. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. It's bigger than me.
Yeah. Well, I think you did a great job in the sense where, like, you didn't make Lyrical Lemonade this thing that's kind of like a, let's say like genius, you know, where it's like you don't really know who's behind it, or not to knock them, because what they did obviously worked, you know, they created a masterful like plan, but people were able to like follow along your story as well. It's more relatable, right? And it's like when Cole gets a W, then like we all get a W, you know, because we're all part of Lyrical Lemonade.
That makes me, that's the highest compliment. The one thing that I always wanted to make it seem like was like that, like you could do it too, you know. And I think that even like the iPhone series, like that was me trying to just show people, like, just have fun. That's what it's about. And I don't know, I think that's what Lyrical Lemonade is about, is like feeling realistic and like reachable.
Did you ever want to like at any point, you know, because I guess what you're explaining to me is there are so many like W's along the way. Did you ever just want to like did you think the Lyrical Lemonade was not going to work at one point where you're just like, dude, I can't do this anymore, like this is not working out?
Yeah, there was definitely moments I wanted to quit. You know, it's funny, I've talked about the Migos video before, and it's funny because like I mentioned the Migos in the year 2017, and it's like,
it was just Quavo, no? Or
it was a Migos video. Quavo was the one who reached out to me.
Okay.
And this is before I had that big break with, you know, the
60K.
Yeah, with the 60 racks. And I was literally in my apartment that I was living in with like all my friends. One of my homies was literally sleeping on my floor, like next to my bed. Like, it was like, that video was like, I thought that was like, this is what's gonna change my life, you know. And I remember going to Atlanta and booking my flight and my hotel and going there out there just myself. I knew no one in Atlanta. I'd never met Quavo, any of the Migos. I didn't bring a friend, anything. And I remember we were supposed to shoot one day, it didn't happen. It was kind of just like if you were to go out and do an interview in a different state, but like the artist that you were interviewing is like kind of slow on communication. You don't really know if it's gonna happen or not. And then it ends up happening. Like, you know, where you're like, you're kind of waiting around for a couple of days. Yeah. That was the story of my life.
But when it does happen, you're like,
when it does happen, you're ready for it.
Yeah.
But that was the story of my life with a lot of things. It was like me like being ready, but waiting. And I flew to Atlanta, didn't know what song we were gonna shoot, anything. And
you didn't even know the song you were gonna shoot?
No.
Oh my God.
No. And Quavo hits me, he's like, let's shoot today or tomorrow. I forgot what it was, but the time had come. And I booked this spot and we shot this video, and I had never got a manager contact, a label contact, anything. It was just me talking to Quavo.
Yeah.
No, that's like the whole communication of everything, which is Quavo. So I would get, and this is when the Migos were on top of the world.
Yeah.
I'd get a response like every week maybe, and it was just like a couple words, change this part, I don't like this, I don't like that. I worked on it for 4 months, man. I probably put in like well over hundreds of hours on this video, and I look back at it and there's like 10 versions of this one video. I found out on my 21st birthday that video wasn't coming out, because I asked him, I was like, man, like what's going on? He's like, man, it's probably not gonna happen. And I fell into such a depression, man. Like, it's a crazy feeling when you feel like you had your breakthrough opportunity and you fumbled it, you know? And that's what I felt like. And I just felt discouraged. And, you know, creative energy is scarce, man. Like, it's not this unlimited tank that you always have. So I gave everything I had into this. And it's just like, I don't want to like make it sound like some sob story, because it's like, I was doing a Migos video. Like, but that was not my clientele at all at the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it was a big jump. I mean,
that was like a really like crazy opportunity. It would be like, just like, I don't even know what to compare it to.
It's
that
like
was just not normal.
It's like if I got the Drake interview now.
Yeah. I could see that happening though.
One day, we're both Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the moment I wanted to quit. And there was like just so many times. I mean, even this album process has been so beautiful, but it's been tricky at moments too, because I hate to ask people for things, you know? So an album like this, I want to bring so many people together to make beautiful music, but you know, I have to show them the vision and all the things I'm trying to do, or I'm trying to explain different concepts of what I want to do. And I can't expect people's urgency to be where mine is on a project that I'm working on.
Of course.
There's moments where it's like you're discouraged and all these things, but on the flip side of it, the high moments are way better than, you know, like it just outweighs everything.
So you don't like asking for like favors, I guess, you know?
Yeah. But I have been.
But you have been, yeah.
You should see my text with JID, man. I'm hounding him every fucking day.
Yeah.
Where's the verse at, man? I feel like DJ Khaled. It's gotten to the point where I just send him this fucking YK Osiris photo every day. I'll show you it.
It's like a meme or something?
Yeah, I just send him this photo every day.
I gotta show this to the camera. Yeah, no, that's funny. I think from the outside perspective, and I was
so real quick, so the album, these are my friends, the army that we've built, who have been working on this project.
He hasn't come in.
Yeah. Sorry. So just real quick, because they're not mic'd up, but this is Danielle, this is Carlton, this is Marvy, and I met all these guys separately at separate times. I literally met Marvy at Snot's birthday dinner like a year ago, and he got Snot this Tupac poem book. He's referencing all these moments in the book, and he just knows so much about Tupac. I'm like, something special about this guy.
Yeah.
And then I found out he's an engineer. I didn't have an engineer for the session the next day. So then he came, and it's been beyond amazing. Daniel, I did a video with him 4 years ago in Portland, and we've just been close ever since. Carlton is, I don't even know how to, everyone just deserves just the highest praise. But Carlton, I met through Juice. He grew up with Juice. He's one of the most talented just musicians, period, you ever met. The BK the Rula project, that's him and BK. Oh, wow. Yeah, so he's across the board.
Yeah.
Yo, I like DM'd you. I was like spamming your DMs when y'all were showing love to that project, sending Carlton's like profile to KCO, and I was just like, yo, let it be known, like acoustic.
Yeah, he did the whole acoustic version of it.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's incredible. Project, congrats to you guys, man.
It's just really, really special, and like every time we're in the studio, I feel like we're in a movie. And I saw him walking past right now. I was like, like I said, we're here in Malibu, finish up the album. We're all together, and I was like, these guys got to show face, man.
Congrats to you guys, man. I can't wait to. I mean, like Cole showed it to me, so.
Yeah, I showed him some of it. It's so crazy because he came to my house, and I played him some music, and I showed him the Umi record, and I was like, I really like SahBabii's like supposed to hop on this, yada yada yada. And then as he left, I was like, Luka just came in and I sent him the song. He said he pulled over on the side of the road and listened to it for the first time. And it's just like,
that's incredible.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, well, nice meeting you guys. You guys have a good day, man. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I will respond to the DM now. But
we need some hoodies.
Yeah, I got you. Let's talk.
Let's go.
I got you.
But yeah, the album is great, and it's very similar to video editing.
I was just gonna ask you that.
Once I get the stems, like once we get the stems and we get that session and we like lock in, it's the best thing. Like Teezo, this is phenomenal, but what if you did it like this? Got you. You know what I mean? And not everyone's that easy.
Yeah.
And that comes to like that stressful aspect I was talking about that makes me like discouraged sometimes. I was at a sandwich shop a few weeks ago and this kid came up to me and he was asking about the album and he went through this list of artists. He was like, is on it? Is on it? Is on it? And it felt so good to say no to no, none of those people are on it.
Why is that?
It's just like I don't have like the best relationships with those people where we can work on a really creative level, you know, and I don't want to force something that doesn't make sense. This album isn't to be just have the biggest names all over it.
Right.
And that's your only focus. Like the focus really is the music, and it's working with people that I admire that you may know about, you might not know about it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, you know, special names on the project, but that is not at all the focus. Because I want to look back at this project and like memories just pour in of like all the great times and moments like this of all us, even you being here and me showing you the first time, us having this beautiful conversation, hanging out. Like, I want to be with like-minded people and I don't want to force anything, man.
Right.
Forcing shit is not the way.
You know, man, I was gonna bring it up to you, and I was gonna ask you this if this is tough, because when I think about like a DJ Khaled, right? I think, you know, obviously respect to him. I think what his goal is like he wants to make the most hits possible, and he has the relationships with the Futures, the Drakes, and you know, the Drake Bowl who coming in and all this stuff, right? I've always wondered this. Okay, if you make if you're like a producer and you make an album, right? And let's say like Future sends you a verse, but you know, you might want to change something or you might want to make him do something different, but you're not like friends with Future. It must kind of suck that you just kind of have to take that and just be like, all right, I just got to keep this, you know? Whereas you're close with Teezo, right? And JID, I bet you can go to Teezo and be like, yo, maybe let's change this. Like, would you be cool with that? And then he'd be like, oh yeah, dude, Cole, you're actually right. Let's do that. Are you noticing that you're able to actually tell these people, hey, let's change it a little?
It's just like, if it's not good, I just don't want it to be on the album really, and that's nothing against, sometimes that might be it might be a bad concept that I try to bring up, but there's songs on the album where the verse is 16 bars, and to get to that 16 bars, I had them redo the verse so many times that I'm then doing surgery on 64 bars just to get down to a 16. You know what I mean? Like sometimes shit just gets chopped off. And it is what it is, man.
Well, I don't want to like reveal too much of what's on your album, man. Because I know you showed me a lot of stuff, but I will say for people listening, you really like brought like 2 or 3 worlds together into one place. I want to say one thing, but I can't say it. But like I thought that was really cool because they're 2 polar opposite people, and you told me that these 2 artists didn't even really know each other. You know, they're really big artists. How does that make you feel that you can bring in 2 worlds that would have never collabed if it weren't for you?
It's the highest honor when 2 worlds that are unfamiliar with each other and the audience didn't know that they could coexist together, come together and make something beautiful. One of those artists being Durk is a close collaborator of mine and a really good friend of mine who, man, like Durk just, I don't know what it is, he trusts me like with anything, and I'm very thankful for that, and it goes both ways. And the other artist on the song being Cudi.
You're gonna say it like that?
Because the song might be, it's supposed to come out the 29th of this month, that's what we're aiming for. This might come out before. If not, we blur it, bleep it.
That's what I was saying to Cole, Cudi and Durk. Like you really brought them together. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, I think that one was just so exciting for me because Cudi is one of my like all-time favorites, and people can say whatever in the world they want to say about him, and it just simply couldn't change my mind on, you know, how I feel about him. He's been a soundtrack to so many of my memories, and when I sent him the song, I didn't hear back from him. I texted him it. I didn't hear back from him. I just assumed, okay, he just wasn't into it. And he calls me a month later and he's like, yo, I love this song. I just got around to checking it out. He's like, is it too late to hop on it? I was like, absolutely not. Please do.
Yeah.
And he just, I'm really blown away by his performance on it. It's funny because then I bring it back to Durk and I'm like, hey, like, I know you're probably not too hip to Cudi, but he's an absolute legend and Durk knows that. He probably doesn't know like a ton of Kid Cudi records himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, cool, man, he's a legend. Like, I'm trusting your vision, let's go. And then Cudi calls me the next day. He's like, yo, like, I don't know too much about Durk. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about his music and his range and all these things? They're just so funny. And then putting them in a group chat and seeing them converse. And it's like, there's a really special thing to say about trust. And I'm just very honored to have some of these people's trust. And, you know, that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would love for you to play me some more stuff after this and just see like what's changing, you know. And what I appreciate is that when he was playing me the album, he was also saying like, yo, tell me what you like, tell me what you also don't like, you know. Like you don't want people to just come in and be like, this shit is hard, bro. It's like, it's hard, but you want me to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So no, I'm excited about that. You guys should look forward to that. But I know when we were talking, you were telling me that you went over to ASAP Rocky's house and you kind of felt like he gave you like a stamp of approval, you know? And he was one of the few artists that you know, even considered that being so important from. I think you said Rocky, Tyler, and...
I don't remember, but Rocky and Tyler are the two that come to mind right now. I'm sure there's a third that I'm not thinking of.
So I just want you to kind of expand on that. Like, how did you even go to ASAP Rocky's you know, place, and like, did he just really mess with your recent videos, or?
Rocky, he welcomed me over to his studio, and I got to hang out with him for a couple nights. As someone who's in the creative industry, who's come up through rap music and has been raised by rap music, you look at Rocky and Tyler and Kanye and Travis as like, they really shifted how we see things, how we experience things. And for me, Rocky is a huge, huge inspiration, and the world he was able to build and just be cool, man. He's smooth, like he's professional, he's like all these things in one, and it's just like someone that you can really admire, not only as a musician, as a creative, as an artist, but like as a man. And just hearing him talk and how widespread his knowledge is and how attentive he is to conversation. Like I'll tell him something and then like a week or two later, he'll reference back what I said. And it was just something like in a passing conversation that I mentioned, and he's present. Like same way like with the Young Lean, like me and Young Lean, like working on, we were working on like this whole concept for this video, and I flew out to New York and we had this meeting and all these things, and we didn't end up getting around to doing it. It was like last year at some point. We just both got busy, but same thing, man. Like I really look up to like Young Lean as a true pioneer. Same way I look at Rocky and Tyler. I think Young Lean needs to be held in that regard also. And
you see that last Young Lean video?
Which?
The one with Blade.
How long ago did it come? Oh, the one that just came out. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy. All Blade's videos, what's being done is true artistry, and for those who recognize it, it's just like you really understand, you know, and yeah, being able to just have creative conversations with people like Lean and Rocky is a dream. So.
Yeah, man. I know I'm talking about the album so much. It's just, it's, you know, it's exciting. The last thing I want to ask you about that is just, so how many videos are you doing for this album?
So the goal is to do a video for every song on the album.
Wild.
It's not just shooting, but it's also editing and the rollout and the packaging, and I'm right down to every detail. But then beyond that is scheduling with all these artists, bringing these people together, finding a consistent thing. The whole goal is to get everyone in suits for every video. When I got Chief Keef in this suit for a video, like when we shot it, he walked down, he's ready to shoot, and he was in like a all camouflage gallery department fit, and I'm like, bro, like, and I had the suits. I was like, yo, I got one request. I need you in this suit.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no way I'm gonna get in a suit. I was like, can you at least put on all black for me? And like, I'll figure it out in the edit. Like, we'll figure something out creative.
We'll Photoshop a little time.
Yeah, we shot it in front of his house. We brought the curtain to his house, and he went back inside and he's changing. He's like 10 minutes. I'm like, God, but she might not even walk back out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like,
Yeah.
And he's like, Cole, and he just shouts out from the second floor, and he's just in a full suit.
Wow.
Like, I was like, no fucking way. He's like, how's this? And Pan, his manager, was like, yo, like, you don't know how crazy this is. Like, he doesn't wear suits. He's like, we got him that suit for an event 4 years ago, like some red carpet event that he didn't go to because he didn't want to wear the suit.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's the first time. Then he came out, he's like, man, I haven't worn a suit since I was in like 7th grade or whatever
Wow.
he said, and he got in the suit. But
Wow.
like little things like that, like
Yeah.
even like, you know, like I said, I don't know if the Central Cee song is going to be on the album anymore, but it's been a real thought that keeps going through my mind. Like, I don't know if I can get this man in a suit. Like, he's only going to get in the Nike Tech. Like, it just is what it is. He went to an award show, and then, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm so invested in, like, really trying to make the vision cohesive that, like, I'm damn near willing to lose a song if someone's not able to participate in the video.
Listen, I hope you know that we all respect that so much, because you could definitely just like fuck the suit thing. You could just be like, oh, I got Central Cee on my project.
Yeah, no.
But like, bro, you are really sticking to this theme that you care about.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if he would or wouldn't wear a suit, but it's like, it's something that really, like,
but I get the idea of what you're saying is that you care about it so much.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But it's hard, man, and it's just like, I appreciate that. Thank you. But there's little things like, just like, I'm trying to eat better and like take care of myself and get more sleep, and like really I'm fully analyzing like every aspect of life of like, how can I get this done in a way where I'm not absolutely killing myself.
You don't want to be insane.
You know, like a project like this can drive you to the brink of insanity. Like I'm really trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
You know? And there could be the least streamed song that no one gives a fuck about. I'm still gonna give that the same energy and time that I gave anything else.
Yeah.
And I think there's just such a cool idea. Right now, a lot of projects come out and we forget about them almost immediately. Or maybe that's just me, but it's just there's so much going on, and just I think a lot of it is because, and Tyler says it best, man. Like, he said, like, yo, you put all your time into this music, into this video, whatever, promote it.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of people were seeing there could be a crazy rollout in all these moments, and then like it drops, and then that's the last you hear of it.
Yeah.
They post the album cover one time, and that's that.
And then on to the next album.
On to the next album. And it's just like, I didn't just spend a year and a half of my life like putting everything towards this and gathering all these different people for it to be some moment that just exists and then it's gone. Like,
yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And you know, to quickly add on to what you said, I think that you can't control if people care about it a year after you put out the project, but you can control how much you post it on your social medias or do an event for it or all these things, right? Which, by the way, I definitely hope you do an event for that.
Yeah,
which I
so,
know you will.
For sure.
Yeah, sorry. There's so many things I want to ask you, and I'm gonna kind of nail it down to a couple of last things.
Let's go.
A quick thing I want to ask you about is like, what's your thoughts on the current like hip hop media landscape? Because it has probably changed so much since when you started doing the blog stuff on the websites, right? Which I feel like it's kind of moved away from that to now like TikTok and short form and stuff. So, what's your thoughts on the current hip hop media landscape? What do you like? What would you like to see more of?
I think I enjoy what you guys are doing. Like, I enjoy the Instagram, like blogs being Instagram pages. Like, that's something I'm still adjusting to, and like that's the new blog, where it's like when I started Lyrical Lemonade and like when I was telling you all the inspirations for like Ill Roots to Hot New Hip Hop and all these different websites, like you'd go to the website. No one wants to click on a website and go to a website and read articles and do all this. They're just gonna go listen to the music. Yeah. But they are on Instagram already, so they're gonna stop and read this fun fact about this album or this song you didn't know about, or swipe through the list of producers. And that's an easy, convenient way to digest information and news. So I love that approach. I see like Twitter, and like I love what the NFR guys are doing, and I love watching their little clips and how they convey themselves and speak on music. It's just, it's good, you know. And it's TikTok is interesting because, you know, like an interview like this, kind of crazy, you put something on, it's for anyone to cut up, and
it becomes,
you know,
theirs essentially.
Yeah, it becomes theirs, which is, it's kind of cool, you know. Like it's a way for like people to kind of create their own platforms with existing material already out there. Like I remember I did this like documentary when I was younger on Chance in like 2014 with all existing Chance interviews and like
you curated it.
Yeah, but with what was out there. And I was like, that's why I always tell people who are like, well, I don't have an artist or I don't have any content to shoot. I'm like, well, work on your editing and creating a story with what already exists. Yeah. So I think it's cool, man. I'm here for all of it and I'm inspired by it.
Yeah. What would you maybe like to see a bit less of, or like, I don't know, you have critiques obviously, you know, it's like same thing with music. Like you hear music and you're like, I think there's like a little too much of like this going on, or
I think, and it's interesting, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this will never change, but there's this constant like urge for media platforms to want to dive into people's personal life and relationships and things they have going on. And I always say, like, if it's not about the music, why touch it? And that was like the one thing with Lyrical Lemonade from everything, like the blog, the Instagram, everything. We'll never touch on anything gossip related or drama related. And people like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm interested in what's going on in that department. Like, if I see that pop up on my phone, I'm gonna read it. Yeah, so I can't even knock it because exactly. I'm not like, fuck this and like throw my phone. Like, I'm interested the same way anyone else is interested. I just feel like people should, you know, have a little bit of privacy when it comes to certain things. Like, let the music be the forefront if music is what we're talking about, or sports or whatever. But
I got you. I definitely think there is a time and place for the academics of the world and all of them, you know, like it exists. Okay, I do want to ask you about this because we had an interesting conversation that I want to reiterate on. Essentially, you know, like you and I love the newer generation of music. A lot of people will classify it as like the underground, right? In fact, like you're known as a dude who breaks artists, right? For a long time. People will say things to me like, oh, like KTO is doing such amazing things for the underground, or sometimes we'll post Drake and then they'll be like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you posting Drake? Give us Ken Carson, right? And it kind of frustrates me because I don't want to be boxed in as that. And I've been blending in all types of artists. I just think it's good music, right? So I say this all because I have seen comments of people being like, man, screw Lyrical Lemonade, bro. Like Cole used to put on for the underground. Now he works with Justin Bieber, right? And or like Lyrical Lemonade's not in their prime anymore. Like they're not covering underground. Like how do you honestly feel about that?
Obviously, I don't love seeing anything that could be like deemed as negative, but I do love the fact that people are finally like releasing me from like that being what Lyrical Lemonade is about. The point of Lyrical Lemonade always was to create a platform and highlight artists that I'm into and that we think are you know, talented, but that wasn't supposed to be what Lyrical Lemonade was. And before, it kind of took a narrative on of its own because one thing pops off, then the next thing pops off, and it was great, don't get me wrong, but as soon as that became like a thing is when it wasn't fun anymore, because then there was a pressure that was created that I was
every
supposed
video you have to like break an artist.
And then it's like, okay, well, you worked with this artist so many times, like where's our next guy, you know? And like it was just this thing where it's like, this isn't the goal, is to just break this artist and it be the next biggest thing. Like, I just want to do things I'm into and have fun. And now this feels a little overwhelming. I think there's moments where I even like would lean into it and try to be that. And I think when I would do stuff like that, I would notice I wasn't happy, whether it worked or it didn't. And also a lot of the stuff that I was doing, like genuinely because I was into it, like Blueface to me at the time when he was making music, like that shit wasn't like, I understood the gimmick angle, but that shit was not a gimmick. I really fucked with Blueface. I thought he was a really good rapper. You know what I mean? Like, I like Snot, I like Dex, I like Tekka, I like Leroy. Like this is what I'm into. And I think as I get older, like my taste and what I'm into is naturally going to mature. That's why I think the album is like not what you really expect the Lyrical Lemonade album to be. Because it's not me just gathering all those artists from like the Lyrical Lemonade glory days and throwing them together on a project. You know, like
a lot of it is your taste.
It's just what I'm into now. And as artists, as creatives, as people, we need to grow, and your audience can follow with you, or they don't have to. But people are always going to hang on to a certain time period, and I don't blame them, because I do that myself with things that I love. And I think there's always going to be a chapter of a story that's our favorite. I think a lot of people's favorite chapter of Lyrical Lemonade might be 2016 to 2018, and I think that's great. But I'm so excited for the people that their favorite chapter is 2023 to 2025.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did that, man. And like, I just think as a fan, if someone is a fan of Cole Bennett, how could you not be happy for him to work with a Justin Bieber or all these people? You know, like that. It definitely brought me joy. You know. Well, hey man, I think that's essentially it for now. You know, there's so much.
How long have we been going?
Yeah, like an hour 20. You know,
How was it? Is it good?
I loved it. I just think that, here's my thing. When I talk to rappers, amazing, it's awesome. But when you talk to a like-minded creator, dude, you lose track of time. There's too much that you want to talk about. So, no, this was amazing. And I just want to end this off by saying that I love everything you've done. All of the big budget music videos, the Jordan partnership, like all these things. But throughout it all, I think the most special thing about you is that you're like a very good person, you know? You're a very like good-hearted person, and I've come from doing interviews with people who, you know, have disrespected me or like been mean to me and all these things. And when I came to your house and you told me like, Arshan, like, why did you want to quit like a couple months ago? And you know,
it's so I was telling you too, because I had never reached out to you, but I was watching from afar and like appreciating everything you do. And when I told you I meant to reach out to you, I was gonna call you and try to like talk to you about it, but I had lost track of time. So I remember when you kind of came to the realization that you weren't gonna quit or like step away from, you know, Kids Take Over, I was really happy to see that. But I don't know if I told you, but I was meaning to call you and like tell you like, don't stop.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that. So yeah, just throughout it all, thanks for being such a good person, man, throughout all this.
Thank you, man. All you guys, this is a good squad. It's a good group of people, man.
It's really fun, man, and yeah, I'm excited for the album, to hear more of it, and just thanks for coming on Kids Take Over, man.
Yes, sir. We're here. Kids Take Over, man. Let's go.
Yo, thank you guys so much for watching that Cole Bennett interview. What an interview, man. I had so much fun doing this. I know every YouTuber says this, but do click the like button and comment your thoughts, because it really does help the channel. And I know you guys see it, but we're about to hit 100,000 subscribers on Kids Take Over. So I'm like, I can't even fathom that. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And just to celebrate, I want to do something really special for you guys. I'm still thinking what it should be, but follow us on Instagram at Kids Take Over, and you'll see whatever it is there. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I'm going to catch you in the next video.